We were desperate. I mean, really desperate. My wife Jenna and I both lost our jobs within the same month. Bills were piling up, and a few $1,000s we had left wouldn't last long. We were on the edge of losing everything when I found it, an online listing for an abandoned gold mine out west. It sounded too good to be true. A 19th century mine, untouched for decades. The listing claimed it was still rich with gold, veins just waiting to be mined. The price was suspiciously low, but at that point, we didn't have much to lose. If we struck gold, it could change our lives forever. And if not, well, we already were at rock bottom. We packed the car up and headed west. It took nearly 2 days of driving through the desert before we found the place. It was exactly like you'd expect from an old mine, a weathered entrance carved into the side of a rocky hill, a rusted sign hanging crookedly over the open. The sign read, "Do not enter." We ignored it. The land was ours now. Besides, we weren't about to let a little warning scare us off from a potential gold rush. The first day was promising. We set up a small camp outside the mine, and by midday, we were inside with headlamps and pickaxes. It didn't take long to find it. Thick veins of gold running through the rock. It was real. We were rich. The deeper we went, the more we found. But that's when things started to feel off. It was Jenna who first pointed it out. "You hear that?" she asked. I stopped chipping at the wall and listened. At first, it sounded like the distant echo of dripping water. Then it shifted. It became moans, faint, overlapping, kind of distorted. We pushed deeper. The gold seemed endless. By the third day, they grew louder, more urgent. Sometimes they sounded like pleas for help. Other times, threats. That's when Jenna started having nightmares. She'd wake up grasping, clutching her throat like someone was choking her. "They're watching us," she said one night, tears streaking her face. I started seeing things. Ghosts moving along the tunnel walls. Faces in the rock, twisted mouth and red eyes. But the gold kept pulling us deeper. It was intoxicating. We kept making excuses for what we were seeing and hearing. Then one night, Jenna woke me up. "They're here," she said. "What?" I sat up, mind racing. "They're in the tunnels," she whispered. "They're waiting for us." I grabbed the flashlight and stumbled toward the entrance of the mine. My hands were shaking. The air felt colder, thicker. Jenna followed close behind. Then we heard it. Footsteps coming from the tunnel ahead. My flashlight flickered and died. Jenna grabbed my arm. "We need to go." But I couldn't move. The footsteps grew louder and closer. And then, a voice. "The gold is ours." I turned and ran. Jenna screamed behind me. I heard her fall, but when I turned to help her, the ground beneath me gave way. I hit the floor hard. My head cracked against the rock. Jenna's scream echoed through the tunnel. And then, nothing. I don't know how long I laid there, but when I opened my eyes, everything was dark. My flashlight was gone. My head throbbed. I called out for Jenna, but my voice just bounced off the walls. Then I saw them. Ghostly figures moving in the dark. Flickers of light reflected off their ancient miners' helmets. Faces stained with blood. Red eyes, almost transparent-like. They surrounded me, crouched low. One of them leaned in close to my ear and whispered, "You're one of us now." I tried to scream, but cold hands wrapped around my throat. I felt myself being pulled into the darkness. My fingers clawed at the rock, but it didn't matter. The last thing I heard was Jenna's voice, her scream dissolving into laughter. And then, nothing. A few months later, a hiker discovered an old rusted car abandoned at the edge of the desert. Inside were two cell phones, dead and covered in dust. Authorities searched the area, but they never found any sign of the mine. A few weeks after that, the listing went back online. 19th century gold mine for sale. Untouched riches.